floor and are now reassuring her that they were surely not looking at the pictures of hot Latinas. While she is beyond shocked after experiencing this, one of them tells the others not to be shaken up as this club is a sanctuary for hidden otakus, and that they could simply claim that looking at those pictures is part of their club activities. Narmi begins to think that they are anything but hidden otakus as their stench is more persistent than Naruto filler episodes.
What the hell is even that?
Eventually, she decides to make her presence known and tells them that she came to ask about otaku. Both of them freak out, thinking that she is calling them otakus, and start discussing how it's like something straight out of a light novel. Narmi then tries explaining herself and asks for their names. This results in the whale introducing himself as Hamchop, while the predator-looking dude introduces himself as Engine. Hamchop then elaborates that they use these slangs to show respect to the beloved early 2000 Akihabara, saying that it's pretty popular among gals. Meanwhile, Narmi begins to think how this club is even weirder than she expected and asks them about Koichi. When Hamchop agrees that he is a member of their club, Narmi replies that she wants to talk to them about Koichi. Eventually, Saturday arrives and Koichi makes sure to clean all the white sauce stains all around his house. He also makes sure that all the anime body pillows and Playboy magazines are well hidden. Following that, he begins to regret inviting a girl to an empty house, but reassures himself that a baddie like Narmi won't be interested in a loser like him. Just then, the doorbell rings and Koichi runs to the door, where he finds Narmi standing with a smile on her face and a suitcase by her side. Noticing the suitcase, Koichi starts thinking if she is thinking of staying the night, but Narmi mentions that she wants to change her clothes and wants to do it right here. Furthermore, she pushes him outside the house, saying that she will let him know when she's ready. With that being said, Narumi closes the door, leaving Koichi to wonder if girls go to other people's houses and immediately change. Soon after, she tells him to come inside, and when he opens the door, Koichi sees Narumi in a maid dress, welcoming him home by referring to him as her master. As she stands there looking really excited, all Koichi can say is that he's pretty lost. Additionally, he asks the reason she is dressed like a maid, wondering who put this idea into her mind. Narumi replies that it was Hamchop and Engine, as when she asked them the best way to thank Koichi for his help, they told Narumi to dress up as a maid. Nonetheless, she has already decided to serve him today and is already trained, as those two made sure to show her all the categories on the hub containing maids. Deciding to roll with it, Koichi decides to make a random request and asks Narumi to rub his shoulders when they are done studying. She instantly agrees and asks him to sit down, but gets reminded that it'll happen after they are done studying. The following week, Koichi enters his club room and pins those two against the wall, making them realize that it's a classic romantic trope. Koichi then confronts them for getting carried away, but Hamchop replies that he thought Narumi might chicken out. Engine then inquires if he was alone with Narumi in his room and begins asking him if something happened. This reminds Koichi of that day when Narumi was massaging his back, telling him that he's always hunched over and reassuring him that she will give her master a real good massage.
Yeah, boy.
Back in the present, while blushing, Koichi agrees that something did happen, enraging the virgins. The next day, Narumi greets Koichi by saying good morning and asks if the groups for the field trip have been decided. Apparently, during yesterday's homeroom, the teacher told them to form groups of 5 to 6 students of mixed gender. As expected, it was a pretty tough ask for an introvert like Koichi, but luckily, Aotsuka and some other boys asked him to join, so they are a group of 3 boys now. Narumi also mentions that her friends invited her and suggests combining the groups together. Koichi agrees and lets Narumi know that he'll talk to Aotsuka and the others to see if they are cool with merging the groups. With that being said, the first years of their school leave for their very first field trip. However, during the trip, Narumi doesn't seem really impressed by the local castle ruin tours they have been doing. Aotsuka also mentions that they have a ton of free time before they meet up with the others and begins complaining about how this field trip is too poorly managed. The other group members comment that other classes have been doing proper trips, as Ruriko somehow managed to go on a factory tour. Following that, Kamada invites Koichi to the game center they are about to go to, but he refuses to go, saying that he already has plans to go shopping with the baddies, and Narumi agrees, telling them that she will be borrowing Koichi. With that being said, the boys leave, telling Koichi to join them next time and later talk about how Koichi is not only going with Narumi, but with the Murata sisters as well. On the other hand, Koichi asks the Murata sisters if they are okay with him tagging along, to which they agree. The Murata sisters are named Kenon and Shin. They are twin sister gals and Narumi's friends. Shin then asks Koichi if he doesn't mind, considering he has to go shopping with the girls, and before he can even reply, Narumi jumps in and mentions that Koichi is really essential for this. She elaborates that he has a superhuman sense for picking out gal stuff. making them wonder if it's a compliment. Narumi replies that it's a big compliment and lets them know that both her nails and her hair are done by Koichi. The Murata sisters mention that it's perfect as they plan on looking at extensions as well, asking Koichi to help them out. While he informs them about the store he went to earlier, Narumi walks behind the three of them, giggling about her finally having the chance to show the sisters how amazing Koichi is. She is fully aware that he might be a bit shy in the beginning, but will eventually get comfortable. Just then, Narumi notices Kanon asking Koichi a question and him replying to her without any problems. To her surprise, the sisters even begin getting a bit too close to Koichi, and after thinking about what she just witnessed, Narumi wonders if Koichi has already gotten used to gals. She can't imagine him talking to other girls as she is the only one who he can talk to without being on guard. Furthermore, she thinks Koichi has gotten used to loud and flashy girls because of her. Turns out that's pretty much true that Koichi has stopped being afraid of gals, and the reason he can speak so freely with the sisters is because they are Naomi's friends. On the other hand, Narumi notices that she is the only one being left out and calls Koichi, telling him that she wants to look at some accessories as well. This makes Koichi remember that Narumi already bought a ton of stuff during the holidays and figures that she must be trying to show off more of his good sides so he can become friends with the Murata sisters. Due to this, he instantly agrees, and at the accessories shop, Narumi can't help but be enraged as Koichi is once again surrounded by the Murata sisters. There, he picks some cute-looking earrings and suggests gold ones for Kanon, while the silver ones for Shin. Luckily, the sisters end up liking his choice, as the earring goes well with their skin tone. Just then, Shin looks at the mirror and freaks out seeing the kind of face Narumi is making. Shin then tells Kanon to look behind, saying that Narumi doesn't look really happy, and that she's not even trying to hide it. Kanon figures that it must be because they've been hogging Koichi and wonder if Narumi likes Koichi. In the end, they decide to give Koichi back to Narumi and come up with a plan to make this work. Following that, Kanon comments on how there are a bunch of people outside, saying that they might get lost if they walk outside the shop. To prevent this from happening, they then suggest holding hands and asking the two of them to hold hands as calling out for a lost person would be a pain. With that being said, the sisters make a run for it, leaving the two of them behind. Narumi then apologizes to Koichi for all the things the Murata sisters said and mentions that she doesn't mind holding hands as the sisters were right, saying that it'd be pretty annoying to get lost. Koichi also agrees, saying that they might cause trouble for their whole group. Even though they both agree, Narumi can't help but think that she is the only one self-conscious about holding hands, not knowing that Koichi is freaking out just as much. In the end, she gives her hand to Koichi, saying that she doesn't mind, to which Koichi replies that if she's okay with it, then so is he. Ultimately, the two of them end up holding hands, trying their best to hide the feelings and emotions going through their minds. Koichi then suggests catching up with the Murata sisters, not knowing that the two of them are actually spying on them and making sure to catch their reaction on camera. As the sisters decide to support the two lovebirds, Narumi and Koichi stress the fact that they can't find the sisters. After coming back from the trip, Koichi is enjoying the movie he's watching and hears someone crying next to him. After the movie ends, he asks if she is okay, and the person who is crying turns out to be Ruriko. After that, Koichi mentions how good that movie was and suggests doing it again, sometime, which comes as a surprise to Ruriko, as she didn't know Koichi watches the same movie twice. When he agrees, she mentions that otakus are pretty weird. Later at the second literature club room, Narumi can't believe that the two of them went to see a movie together, and complains to them about not inviting her, to which Ruriko replies that it was an anime movie, and that she doesn't even watch anime. While they explain the circumstances to Narumi, the weebs wonder when the second literature club became a hangout spot for outsiders. Following that, Koichi adds that the animation and theme song was a complete banger, to which Ruriko agrees, while Narumi stresses over the fact that she doesn't know what they are talking about. She then begins to think how going to movies together makes it a date, and that Koichi is trying to get under the bedsheet with other girls, even though they held hands the other day. In the end, she smashes the table in anger, causing both of them to promise to invite her next time. However, Narumi's gloominess didn't end there, as a few days later, she met up with Kanon in the hallway, who told Narumi that Koichi has become crazy popular. Surprised, she enters the class and notices a crowd gathered around Koichi's desk. The boys complain about them thinking that he was an otaku, just for Koichi to take out his guns all of a sudden. Kanon also mentions that she never noticed his muscles because of the long sleeves and asks Narumi if she knew, to which she agrees, saying that they are pretty impressive when he takes off his clothes. Hearing this shocks not only Kanon but the whole class. Kanon questions if the two of them have already gone to Pound Town. Luckily, Koichi jumps in just in time and informs everyone that he, Ruriko, and Narumi went to the pool, and Narumi agrees, later realizing what she just said. She then explains that she didn't mean it that way, and when Kanon says that she assumed because they are always together, Narumi replies that it's because Koichi is really awesome. Meanwhile, Koichi notices that Narumi is getting teased because of him and figures that he needs to attract the crowd's attention. For this, he takes off his clothes and reveals the packs he's been hiding, causing the crowd to surround him once again. Even though Narumi is relieved, seeing him surrounded by everyone makes her feel a bit lonely. After school ends, Koichi notices Narumi standing by the main gate and asks if she's going home. Narumi also questions if he doesn't have club activities, to which he replies that they are taking a break due to the upcoming finals. Furthermore, he asks if she forgot her umbrella, and Narumi requests him to walk her to the station. With that being said, he takes out his umbrella and places it above her, letting her know that she might get a little wet as it's not big enough. Nonetheless, she thanks him for the offer, and the two of them begin walking away. To his surprise, Narumi begins sticking a little too close to him, causing him to notice how good she smells, and more importantly, he can see those honkers clearly as daylight. Additionally, he is more conscious of this stuff because of her light clothes and figures that she is pretty touchy, considering how they held hands the other day. While he thinks if Narumi does stuff like this with other guys, a few raindrops begin to fall on his shoulder, causing him to move his hand under the umbrella. But when Narumi asks if something is wrong, he refuses to tell, which makes her believe that he might not want to share an umbrella with her. Additionally, she mentions that he doesn't have to put up with it just because he is nice. However, Koichi replies that if he is nice, then Narumi is even nicer, which catches her by surprise, but Koichi comments that he has always thought about it. As he is an otaku, many people used to think he was gross, but Narumi doesn't look at him that way. It's all thanks to her that he is able to talk to others without them being grossed out. Just then, Narumi interrupts and disagrees, telling Koichi that he is not gross as he has helped her out a ton of times and even pitched in for Ruriko's makeover, which makes him a good person. If anyone is gross, it's the people who treat otakus like that. Hearing this makes him smile, and he once again mentions that Narumi really is a nice person. After arriving at the station, Narumi tells Koichi that she's going to the shop so they can part ways there. Koichi, figuring that she might buy an umbrella, decides to part ways after saying goodbye. But after he leaves, Narumi thinks that even though she should be happy that he's finally able to become friends with everyone, for some reason, she's been feeling gloomy about it lately. After that, she takes out an umbrella from her bag, saying that she is not actually a nice person. The next day at school, Koichi's homeroom teacher, Aloha, decides to return the tests, asking the students to come get them by seat number. After receiving theirs, both Koichi and Narumi take a look, and after that, she taps on his back, asking how he did in the finals. However, he gets shocked after seeing the smirk on her face and realizes that she wants him to ask about her result as well. Eventually, he asks her about her result, and Narumi proudly shows it to him. There, he finds out that she did much better and that her score is pretty close to the average. But in reality, they are no way close to average, and he's only praising her, so she stays motivated to improve even further. Just then, Ruriko appears in their class as well, along with her test results. Upon seeing them, both Koichi and Narumi get shocked as Ruriko ranked first in her class, which makes Narumi wonder if she came to rub it in her face. After that, Ruriko asks Koichi if he'd rather be friends with a girl who does well on tests or a girl who doesn't, while all he can do is laugh nervously. Following that, the three of them are on their way home, and Narumi mentions that it's time for summer break. Koichi reminds her that before that, they have career counseling and need to prepare for the school festival as well. Ruriko mentions that they have the end of term to decide what they are going to do, as they have summer break after. This results in Narumi asking Koichi what he wants to do for the school festival, to which he replies that he hasn't really thought about it. Narumi suggests thinking about it together, saying that they should make it a huge success. However, an introvert like Koichi was never excited for such an event, but if he tells Narumi about it, he'd probably be sad, which is why he agrees to do their best together. Hearing them discuss the school festival makes Ruriko wish they were in the same class. Some days later, their class decides what to do for the summer festival, and the same day, the end of the term ceremony takes place. Now, there is only one more day left until summer break. That day, Narumi asks Koichi if he is free next Friday, and when he agrees, Narumi mentions that her and Ruriko will be coming to his house that day. Following that, he invites her to walk to the station together, but Narumi refuses as her and Ruriko have temporary part-time jobs. This comes as a disappointment to Koichi, as he's not used to inviting people, and begins to wonder why Narumi is trying to make money before the summer break. Eventually, Friday arrives, and the girls pay Koichi's house a visit. After greeting them, he invites them inside, proud that it went without a hitch. After entering his room, Narumi takes a good look at his bed and without hesitating jumps on it, shocking the two of them. When Koichi asks what she is doing on his bed, Narumi begins laughing and lets him know that she rubbed her scent all over it, so now he can fall asleep while smelling him. Ruriko tells her to cut that weird, perverted crap out, causing Narumi to complain that she doesn't have to be so harsh about it. But little does she know that Koichi is actually happy about it, but can't say it out loud. After that, he asks them about the stuff they brought along, wondering if they brought homework. But Narumi refuses, and when she asks Ruriko to bring it out, she agrees. With that being said, they both take out a box, asking him what's inside, not realizing that any normal person can figure that it's a cake. Nonetheless, he tries to act dumb, allowing the girls to announce that it's a cake. This makes Koichi wonder if they met up to eat cake together, but to his surprise, the girls brought presents along as well. They then wish him a happy birthday, confusing Koichi and causing him to scream in surprise. Apparently, Koichi's birthday is during summer vacation, so he's never celebrated with anyone except his family. Realizing that the cake is his birthday cake, tears begin forming in Koichi's eyes, making Narumi mention how he's a little too surprised. Ruriko then tells him to forget about the cake and check out the presents they bought. Narumi brought him perfume, saying that as he bought new clothes a little while ago, this will take his style to the next level. After spraying some of it on his arm, she lets him know that the scent matches the one she's wearing right now. But all the degenerate can think is that Nami's scent on himself is very provocative. After that, it's time for Ruriko's gift, and she bought him some old, rugged Converse. She mentions that he can wear them all year round, and what surprises Koichi is that she figured out his exact size, not knowing that she checked the shoes in his locker beforehand. Additionally, she also bought the same pair for herself, trying her best to think that she's not trying to match with Koichi like Narumi. Koichi then asks if they are sure about buying these expensive gifts and asks if they get part-time jobs for time. The girls tell him to just accept the gifts as he usually does so much for them anyway. After they are done exchanging the presents, Narumi suggests eating the cake, and additionally, Ruriko also brought cards to play. Ultimately, it is time for them to go back, and after planning to meet again soon, they both head home. After they leave, his fellow weebs appear, wearing what one expects such people to wear. Apparently, they also brought him a present even when he didn't tell them about his birthday. However, after opening the bag, all he finds inside is a maid costume. The weebs let him know that as a fellow club member, he should have won as well. Even though Koichi acted like he didn't appreciate such gifts, he made sure to carefully put it away in the closet. Soon after, his mom returns home, and after asking if his friends went back, tells him that she'll be making fried chicken for his birthday. After enjoying the fried chicken, he does his daily nighttime routine, and just when he lays on his bed, the thought of Narumi rubbing her scent on his bed makes it difficult for him to fall asleep. It is now August 1st, and even though the summer vacations are going on, students are still coming to the school in order to prepare for the cultural festival. Koichi also enters his class, simultaneously greeting everyone. To his surprise, everyone instantly gathers around him, asking Koichi if he brought that thing along. Koichi agrees, saying that he brought a small, medium, and a large version of examples, surprising his classmates as he managed to finish it this early. With that being said, he takes out a giant cloth from his bag, causing everyone to comment on how it looks just like a shinsengumi outfit. Apparently, before the summer break started, their class collectively decided to do an era of the Edo period cafe. The students seem to like it as that period is a manly point in time, while the others talk about them dressing up in costumes and serving customers. One of them mentions that they will need to wear shinsengumi outfits, but no one knows how they are going to acquire them. After searching online, they found out that those costumes are pretty expensive and unaffordable. This results in Narumi asking Koichi if he is able to make clothes, and unluckily, the rest of his class ends up hearing her say this. Koichi lets Narumi know that he only makes clothes for his dolls, to which she replies that if he can make them for dolls, making them for people shouldn't be a tall task. When his other classmates ask Koichi about it, he replies that he hasn't made clothes for people, so he wouldn't be able to do it for everyone. So if they were to do it, everyone would have to sew the clothes themselves. To his surprise, that's more than enough, and all they want Koichi to do is to teach them the basics. While they discuss the outfits, Narumi seems proud to be the one who brought Koichi to light and tries acting tough, only to notice the crowd around Koichi rapidly increase, not giving her the chance to talk to him, ultimately pissing Narumi off. This is how he was made in charge of the costumes and manages to get it done after half a month. One of the boys begins complimenting Koichi for being amazing, and he adds that making the hakama might be tough, but gets reassured that the rest of class will handle it. Apparently, they will be able to borrow a few of them from the kendo club, and the girls from the archery club will give them a hand as well. The conversation about girls makes Koichi realize that he hasn't seen the hotties around and gets asked if he's specifically looking for Narumi. Noticing them talk about love, the other boys start gathering around and begin asking Koichi if he's going out with Narumi as they are always together. Koichi mentions that Narumi is friendly with everyone, but one of the boys disagrees. He informs Koichi that he's the only guy Narumi has given a nickname to, and she doesn't get close to just anyone. Hearing this reminds Koichi of all the times he got to touch those jugs of hers, and even after the boys leave, he continues thinking about it. Soon after, Narumi enters the room, asking if someone was calling her, causing Koichi to freak out. Koichi then shows her the costumes he managed to make, and she along with Kanon instantly ends up wearing it. While she is discussing other things, she notices Koichi looking at her and wonders if something is wrong, making Koichi realize that it's because of all the weird things everyone has been saying. At the same time, Kanon notices the tension between them and mentions that she forgot to buy a few things to finish preparing. So, to fix this mistake, she asks Koichi and Narumi to go buy those things together. Even though he agrees, Koichi can't get used to the atmosphere surrounding him. But just as they are about to head out, Ayaka, the class president, stops them, saying that she should be the one who should go with Koichi. Furthermore, she reminds everyone that she has the responsibility of managing funds, and when she asks Narumi if that's okay, she agrees while Kanon apologizes for not being of any help to her. 3 hours later, the boys begin talking about how those two still haven't returned and start to wonder if they are busy doing something freaky in private. Soon after, Narumi notices the two of them through the window and tries to call out his name, only to see the two of them smiling and walking together, leaving her in shock. When Ayaka stumbles, Koichi makes sure to catch her and later flexes his muscles. Narumi is left in disbelief after seeing them, and after Koichi returns, he looks at Narumi and tells her that he's back. But to his surprise, she suggests going to the pool and later the beach too. Additionally, she wants to go camping and movies as well, but when Koichi tries to say that they can't get through all that in a single summer, he notices her barely holding back her tears. Following that, Narumi yells, saying that she doesn't care anymore and runs outside, asking Kanon to come buy some food. Meanwhile, Koichi is left behind, thinking why Narumi is in a bad mood and if something happened. How long do you think it will take for them to realize their own true feelings? Comment otaku if you'd like part 2 of this series. As usual, thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.